Alright everyone, it's time to rock and roll. It's time for more colony survival. We're going to start off with season 2. As you can see in the right bottom corner, we are in a version 0.9.1.8, which is a whole mouthful, but some updates have been made, and the main updates have been on the AI. So on the pathfinding of the monsters in order to make it to the banner, which should also resolve the bug that we had at the end of the last season where we went into siege mode. Alright, so season 2, world name as well as the world seed. There we go. Let's go. Play solo and no mods. So we take full damage and we don't have any teleport paths. There we go. Now I'm going to be closing the basics because I think we figured out pretty much how to play the game here in season 1 already. Now let's have a quick look around. So we do have quite a bit of snow right in that direction. So let's see that we find ourselves in that direction, a nice patch to start working on. Alright, so it's season 2. That means we're going to have a couple of rules as well to play with, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So, number 1, no walls. We cannot build any walls around our colony in order to protect it. And the same obviously goes for moats. Moats and walls banned here to protect our colony. And then the third one is no expanding of our banner safe zone. It is a 30 blocks safe zone to start off with. That's what it is. We want to expand. We're going to need to buy the additional banner expansions like we did in season 1 as well, where we had DT fields attached to Ducktown. And the last, which I think is equally as important, everything we build needs to be built inside the banner safe zone. So no walls, no moats, everything inside the banner safe zone. Should definitely prove for an interesting season. I think pretty much that this is going to be it. Now, we need to keep in mind there always needs to be a path towards our banner. And I can move the banner, which is a good thing. So we're just going to start off and just put it down here. It goes a little bit towards the mountain, but not high enough yet to make it towards the snowy side. But this is giving us a good place to start. So no walls, no moats, and no expansions of the banner safe zone, which also actually makes things a little bit easier as we know exactly the size we're going to be working with and we can build directly into the right dimensions, so to say. Alright, like always, I'm going to start off with digging out a little bit of the grass because we need to get some blocks that we can actually work with. Because the first thing is, if I cannot expand my banner safe zone and not build walls, that means I'm going to need to start building vertically. I need to go up into the sky. I need to go into the ground, potentially. But that might pose a little bit more problem than I would like. So I think we're going to start off with figuring out what is the corners. There we go. I've got the 2 far corners. This one is marked out just like that. And the other one is right over there. I'll do the same on this side and there as well. But this is the space that we have to work with. Now, in order to be able to survive, my plan is to go up. And for that, I'm going to need to figure out what is the most efficient grid for us to be working on. Because, as I said, we want to build everything within our banner safe zone. No constructions or buildings outside. And we're not allowed to build any moats and no walls in order to defend ourselves. So we need to find a way that we're going to be able to get our defenses set and functioning, and we need to do that in such a way that we still can utilize the space that we have within our banner safe zone. So it's now nearly early morning. Well, it is early morning. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and all I've done here in the night, and this is what I meant. I cannot build any moats or walls, so I had to dig out here in order to set up my grid, which means I have to create this space as well, so the monsters can literally walk down, back up, and eventually make it here to the banner. But this is going to be the grid, and again, that is the outside of our banner safe zones all the way until here, which is absolutely perfect. So we have quite a bit of space to do this on. Now, what my plan is, and if that's going to work is the next question, but for now, this is a 10 by 10 grid. That is a 10 by 10 here. We have another block on this side, another one here. So this is basically 40 blocks that we can actively work with in order to get something working and growing. Now, I don't want to do that here on the ground floor because monsters can come easily in, murder whoever comes here, and then attack the banner as well. So what my plan is, and that is where you come in, so I'm going to be putting it up 3 high. And this is where we're going to be building our floor. So now I do need to remove these ones again, because obviously I cannot block it off by a wall. And there we go. So it's going to be there. Now, then it is a 2-block gap underneath. The monsters can walk underneath, so it is perfect. And then I can start putting it here on the same directions. There we go. Let's get you up. All right, so now we're nearly done. Now, I hear some of you thinking, but this is effectively the same thing as building a moat or a wall around. Yes and no. So, because we're going 2 blocks up, basically the only way for us to utilize any of the space is by building. So, if we want to add additional space to the floor space that we have, we actively have to go, we have to build the section before we can do anything with it. And then in order to still have access, there we go. And we'll do the same thing right here for now. That's where we're going to have ourselves a nice plateau to get on and in and there. All right, so this way, yeah, we definitely have a little bit of a protection, but we still very, very actively need to fill all of this in, because right now I cannot do anything here. I cannot even set up any berry farms because I don't have anything to put a berry farm on. So let me quickly plug that like this, because I do need to get some space around there in order to put our banner, because I do want to put the banner up here. So I'm going to go to the banner tool and then move the banner, plug you in, and move the banner. So now we are back to the exact same dimensions for our colony, but now at least it is exactly 2 blocks up from where it used to be. So that is the amount of effort that we're going to need to put in order to be able to get ground space off the ground in order to be able to work it. Now, for this, I do have a little bit further of an idea as well, and I can also set out already where the next floor is going to be. There we go, because there will always be 1, 2, 3 blocks in between any of the floors. And yes, again, that is also for a purpose, because this is just way too claustrophobic to non-stop be cutting your hair whilst you're walking underneath. That's not for me. Okay, so with this now set, we can finally set our first fairy farm. 5 by 5, so we're going to be able to fit 4 on here. There we go, now we remember how it goes. Do I have any crates? I've got 3 of them. That is not a whole lot, so let's start off with just 1 here in the corner. And yeah, they're going to be a little bit less efficient this time around, but we'll fix that at a later stage. Okay, then now the other thing that we're going to need is we're going to need ourselves some space for the guys to sleep. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a grass patch out here, and eventually this entire floor is probably going to be farming, but let's see how far we're going to get. And because we're going to be building in layers, it is also going to give us quite a few interesting options when it comes to the actual defenses, but all that's going to be a little bit later, because we are nowhere close to starting on defenses yet. For now, let's get ourselves started on, getting our first colonists, and let's get our food production up and running. All right, then we're going to be putting another crate right there. And now we're going to need to get ourselves some stone rubble, and we're going to need to get ourselves some logs as well. And this is going to be the other problem. We need to build ourselves also forestry. And I don't remember how tall the trees grow, so we're going to need to count that out a little bit as well. So potentially we're going to need 1 section, and we'll build that out in that direction then, to get them double layered. So there's going to be a missing layer in between in order to have the trees grow. All right, there we go. Got ourselves a little bit of stone rubble. The next thing that we're going to need is some wood. And the easiest place to get wood is trees. Surprise, surprise. I know, right? It's a shocker. Nobody saw that one coming. So now we've got ourselves some wood. There, can make ourselves a tinkerer's table. And then let's get the tinkerer's table down right next to you. All right, so what are you going to be making? Beds, slingshot bullets, slings, the guards, the stone tools. So yeah, we need stone rubble. We don't have miners yet. Let's have a look for science. The miner is going to be the next one. Just takes stone rubble. There we go. So at least that is done. And you will be making a miner now as well, right? Yeah, 2 of them. Okay, so that's good. Now, here's the other problem. How am I going to get, with no walls and no moats, something from underground? Let me see. Until where does my safe zone go? I could potentially, because this is the level, if I'm going to level this with the rest of the level there, I could potentially dig into the mountain right on this level. That does not require me to dig any moat or walls. Let me see how we're going to work that. But for now, we're still going to be relatively safe once it is there and we are all set there. So I now have 5 jobs to fill. I've got 5 beds. Let's recruit to fill all the jobs. Hello. So instead of them taking meals first, that's another fix that they've done. Colonists used to spawn with an empty stomach. They first needed to go get themselves a meal. So once you get later on, you pay for them with meals, and then you would need to give them extra meals because they would spawn hungry. Now they're actually spawning with a fully filled belly, which is a good thing. Now let's see that we get a little bit of efficiency set up here. All right, so there we have the crate. You've got the 2 bushes here. You have your 2 bushes here. You've got them there. You've got them there. So we're all good. They do need to walk a little bit towards the crate to drop it off, but at least they are very limited in space that they need to walk in order to make all of that. So that's going to be good. You are well on the way to make a night slinger guards. Yeah, not sure that that is the best way to waste your time, but sure. We already have some sling bullets, which is good, but we have no threat level yet. So we are very, very happy with that. All right, so for now, the next thing that we're going to need is a regular supply of wood. Okay, so now I need to start counting out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the walkway. There we go. That's going to be right there. All right, so it's nice, bright and early. Everybody's back up to work, and that basically means he's making tools, they're making food. Our food count is going up. We're at 32 meals already, which is a good thing. And the last thing we need is to be short on food. Now, the other thing that we're going to be doing is we need to get ourselves a forester. So let's get you up and running. Now, you can be 100, which is exactly this. And that's going to give me a little bit of additional space here. And that's kind of the thing. Because now I remember you need to be either 3 or 6 or 9. We can make it a 9 by 9, which is effectively the same as the 10 by 10. Well, that's it. I'm just going to put them on 10 by 10. I know it's not going to be perfect. There's not going to be ideal measures. Eventually, we're going to need to figure out how, where, what. But this is how it works for now. Let's get ourselves the beds and let's plop down a few extras. We still have a little bit of space before we get some threat level coming in, so that is all good. So there, then let's go there. Recruit to fill all the jobs. Perfect. Then we have the next 2. They're going to be setting up the trees in here, which is good. You guys are still working on food. We still have 34 meals, so we're looking very nice. All right, so this is all banner safe zone area. So within the banner safe zone, I can pretty much do what I want. So I'm going to be building this as a little bit of a bridge. I mean, I'm losing some space with it. Eventually, we'll probably need to come up with a better solution than this. But a bridge is all that I can come up with for now in order to make this work. All right, is it pretty? Far from? Is it going to work? Most likely. Most likely it will work. So let's just dig out a little bit because we just need to get to the darker stone. And I think I'm just going to be digging on this level, and we're not going to go further up or down at the moment. It is kind of the only option that I have at the moment in order to make this work. So here we go. Let's get ourselves a miner. There we go. I was going to say we do have one, right? And then you can just stand there and you can collect all the stone rubble that you would like. All right, recruit to fill all the jobs. Look at you. You're making beds. You're now going to make an extra miner block, which is good. He's going to go down there and start digging on the mine on the stone rubble, which is also nice. Look at that. We actually get all different colors of trees growing in here. Going to be really, really nice. And look at that. We still have a lot of space to work with. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. This one, the banner safe zone, is currently at 30 blocks. It's going to stay at 30 blocks. No changes there. Science pottery, that is good. Wheat farming, that's kind of the one that we would like. And we could pull it off, because then I can turn this into a wheat farm, into a wheat field. Now, that's not going to give us anything amazing, but it will give us an additional food source. I have grass enough, so I'm now just going to go and fill it in with grass, because it is easier. He's complaining he doesn't have wood. He's going to need to wait until the other guys are done with that. The foresters are waiting for the trees to grow, and you cannot chop them down for wood any earlier than they've grown. I know it's a weird concept. You need to wait for something to grow before you chop it down, and that is the field ready and set. Okay. So here we go. Science, complete the wheat farming, which means now I have the wheat farmer. Going to leave a pathway. There we go. 10 by 10 right there. All of it is now nice and dirt, which is perfect. And then we need to hire one additional guy in order to do the job there. All right, then the next one is going to be the smelter, for which we need stone tools, and we kind of run out of those. And then we've got the pottery, for which we need 10 clay. We didn't get 10 clay yet either because, well, we only have the stone rubble guy there at the moment. Okay, so we're waiting for the two foresters to bring in the wood. This should all grow relatively soon, but let's see. Then we've got our mining job right in here. Talking about it, let's give you a little bit of light on top there. And we need to start putting some lights around anyways, because it is really, really dark here. Now, this is going to be the double level. And I need to be careful how I'm going to set this one up. That's going to be the next level, which would cap in here into the trees. And that's going to be the level above that, which I think is going to be fine. But let's quickly build ourselves a little bit of a stairs up here, so we can see if it is going to be fine indeed. Yeah, let's see. Look, that's absolutely fine. So this is the fully grown cycle of the trees. And then we still have 2 spare blocks before we're going to go and get the next floor in. So that is absolutely fine. Now, I do need to be a little bit more careful when it comes to jumping around, because we do have full damage at the moment, which also means that I think I need 2 even. No, I didn't. Perfect. So we actually do take damage from falling, hence why it's called fall damage, you idiot. We've got a wall set out here. We already have our marker there for what is going to be the next floors, which are going to be pretty cool. We've got ourselves Forest 1 and Forest 2, and we might potentially add another level, so then we've got 2 levels of trees basically growing on top of each other, which I think will look, I mean, it's not really realistic, I do know that, but I think it's going to look pretty cool nonetheless. Okay, guys, but that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button. And then, of course, if you want to see more here of Colony Survival Season 2, no walls, no moats challenge, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. And then I will see you guys in the next episode. We're going to be expanding a little bit more into the section here. And then let's also have a look what other signs that we're going to have. So we want to get ourselves the smelters up and running. We need more stone tools. We probably need a couple of extra tinkerers. Pottery, maybe for the next one. But we do have some water down there. It's just pretty far away, so we might need to think of how we're going to be doing that. But that's all for the next one. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you guys in the next one.